Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brickanista Broadcast Network on YouTube. And it's Saturday night, and it's great because you probably know that at 1 o'clock today, Pacific time, I had a review or recap with Joriel Builds about the hashtag Daily Brick Limit Challenge. And it's been so exciting because right now it's July 17th, and we've got half the month over, and we have another 13, 14 days until the end of the month. So we're really excited. So many people have put in so many wonderful challenges with regard to today's date is the 17th, so I still have to work on mine. I'm doing mine in clusters because, as you know, I think right now I'm working on 4 different challenges at the same time, and it's been kind of crazy. And as I get ready for BrickCon, because the announcement is, ta-da, BrickCon is on. That's right, BrickCon is on. So we will have a special guest tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm going to be interviewing RJ Coughlin for a Brickanista on the Move episode, and I'll be driving down to his home, and I am looking forward to being able to chat with him a little bit more about BrickCon. He's one of the coordinators who is responsible for the BrickCon event, him and a committee of people, and he agreed to be on the show and we could talk a little bit more. So the news is it's hybrid, so it will be happening as a hybrid form. And I think we'll go through more of the details tomorrow, but if you are interested in learning more, you could go to, I believe it's afol.brickcon.org. I'm going to put both of them in the chat, so check them out. In fact, what I may do is pull it up in as a website, but let me go ahead and just put, first of all, Daily Brick Limit. So Daily Brick Limit is one of the challenges that's happening right now. In fact, I'm going to put all the challenges in the chat first. So Daily Brick Limit is happening every day in the month of July, and that's something that me and Joriel Builds have been hosting. We did one back in January as far as the full month, and then we did little holiday brick limits in between. So this is a full month of doing daily challenges, and don't be hard on yourself. If you can't make it for a certain day, don't worry about it. You can cluster them, or you can decide just to wait. If you do want to be included in the prize drawing at the end of the month, though, you need to do 10 builds. So 10 builds, whatever 10 builds that you put in for the month, remember to do hashtag Daily Brick Limit, and then we will draw for 3 different prizes. They're all gift certificates. So either a $10 gift certificate, a $20 or a $30 one, and you can choose between either Target or Lego. Because some of you, I know, go through Target as a regular buying source if you're in the United States, and if you're overseas, then Lego.com should work for you. So that's the plan. We'll be drawing, I believe, the first weekend in August. We still need to work out the dates, but super, super excited just to see all the different builds and the new people who have joined in. And it's also got me thinking too about different ways to express myself using the Daily Brick Limit. So hey, Robin Eklund, how are you? Welcome. Yeah, it's been exciting just putting, first of all, just the fact that we're almost coming on a year anniversary, because we started this, actually I should say Joriel started this in August of last year. And the first time we ran it, I think 3 or 4 people participated. And then we did a kickstart in January of this year. So 2021 has actually been an amazing year for the Daily Brick Limit. So that's the first challenge that I'm putting in the chat. The second challenge that I'm going to put in here is the whoops, I got to make sure I can type correctly. Re-brick this July 21. So re-brick this July 21 is you take the bride or the groom. Okay, my tablet is not cooperating with me. So the bride or the groom brickhead sets. I should say and or. So you take the bride or the groom brickhead set and then make it whatever you want. So I took the bride and I built it just as the way the instructions were, and then I re-bricked that into 3 ships and 3 goofy faces. That was really fun. In fact, some of you who were on my stream when I was building that, it ended up being the I guess, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. So it was also a good educational experience because we looked it up, and the Pinta is the small one. So Santa Maria big, Nina middle, Pinta is the little guy. So that was really fun to do. And I also put in my description, and these are all on Instagram, by the way. These last two are on Instagram. Hashtag rebrick this July 21. Hashtag daily brick limit, also on Instagram. So the next one that I wanted to mention is the one we're going to be working on today, or continuing to work on, and that is the one that Brick Huntress is sponsoring, and that's called, and I looked this up to make sure I had the hashtag right, so let's build some magic. So you got to add the some in there, make sure let's build some magic. It's not too late, you can build along with me if you want to go ahead and add to, you know, the contestants. Make sure when you do post it on Instagram, you use that hashtag, and also make sure you tag Brick Huntress. So I'm gonna put add Brick Huntress to the tags. Hey, Aubrey Kovach, how are you? Welcome. Yeah, so that's the one we're working on today. And as you know, when I usually start from scratch from a build, I go onto the internet and get some inspiration, and I'm so excited because this is going to be a twofer. So in other words, I'm going to use the same MOC and apply it both to the Brick Huntress Let's Build Some Magic, and then the last one, which I'm going to put in here, is Tricky Bricks. So we have Tricky Lug. In fact, I'm really glad that Aubrey is on the call, because Tricky Lug, let me make sure I type that correctly, you need to put hashtag Tricky Lug in the description. And so this would be Tricky Lug, and usually we don't post them until Friday. So let me step back for a moment. Oh, hey Joel, how's it going? Welcome. I'm surprised not to see you as Brigadier General Itchy Sheep, or to see you as Joel Pokemon Dameron. Yeah. So anyway, welcome. So let me step back for a minute. First of all, you need to go to trickybricks.com. So first of all, that's a good place to go. Go to trickybricks.com. And when you go to trickybricks.com, it lists their 2-week challenges. So the 2-week challenge this time is the 2-week challenge due on Thursday. So first what you do is you submit it Thursday, and you submit it to their web form. So Thursday, and that would be July, I want to say the 21st, I think, because I think the slideshow is the 22nd. Let me get this right. Today's the 17th, so 24 hours, or I'm sorry, a week from now would be, what, the 25th? No, let me make sure I get this right. The 24th. Back up one day is the 23rd, back up another day is the 22nd. Okay, so the 22nd. So make sure you get it in on the 22nd, Thursday the 22nd by 5 p.m. Pacific time. And make sure you fill in the form. So fill in the Google form, or send an email to Tricky Lug, I think, right? I want to make sure I get this right because they keep changing things. I'm just going to say fill out the form, because if you go onto the website, it'll tell you if you can't fill out the form how to do it. So yeah. So we got 4 challenges going on, and their theme for this week is mythology, and I am so stoked because if you were here on my, I think it was Wednesday on my Twitch stream. On the Twitch stream, what I usually like to do when I'm working on a brand new MOC is I like to do research. So I said, okay, I'm going to combine these two. I want to do a mythology, and I want to do something about magic. So I looked up the goddess of magic, and I was blown away, because if you look up the goddess of magic, her name in Greek mythology is Hecate. And we even had a discussion about how do you pronounce this anyway. So Hecate, and I'm putting it in the chat because I kept saying Hecate, but the pronunciation is Hecate. So Hecate, and we were joking around as like Hecachai, because we have that tea, chai discussion, or chai tea. So Hecate is the Greek goddess of magic. And what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you a little bit about how I proceeded with building a 32 by 32 base plate as a backdrop, and then using a 16 by 32 as the base. And it actually came out pretty good so far. I still need some more embellishments to do. So the thing is, though, I was thinking about this some more, because if you read up more about Hecate, it's kind of dark. I mean, she's the, well, I shouldn't say it's dark, because she's also the goddess of crossroads, which I thought was actually very poignant in this time of my life, because I don't think anything is coincidence. I think certain people come into your life for a certain reason. And the fact that we had discussed this, that we're going to do Hecate as a MOC, and we'll use it for both the Tricky Bricks and also the Let's Build Magic. But I thought about it some more, and it was interesting because I happened to have had a video blind box. And when I had opened the blind box, we were saying, okay, let's make it the wolf. Let's hope it's the wolf, like the wolf is going to be in the woods. And it turned out to be the Banshee. So I wanted to show you this. Let me see if the camera will focus on this. Let's see. Do this. There we go. So Hecate as the Banshee. And she is super cool. Look at that face. That face is awesome. And so what I did is, she normally comes with a microphone in the video set. And then if you look it up online about Hecate and what she's known for, she's usually carrying 2 torches. So that's why I put the torches in her hand. And she is the goddess overlooking the crossroads. She's also protecting you from evil. And she apparently was the goddess who also witnessed Persephone being abducted by Hades, you know, into the underworld. So she's one of the underworld goddesses, and it's a really interesting kind of exploration of that. But the other thing that was super cool is a lot of the depictions, the artwork depictions of Hecate were lavender and black. And as you know, I've been doing lavender builds. So the thing about banshees, I don't know if you read up about banshees, you notice that she has green in there. And apparently, I did not know this. So banshees, I knew, were known for wailing. And that apparently when they wail, they're signaling that somebody is going to die soon. And it's a very big Irish mythology. So you love the Banshee? I built a Banshee for our last mythology challenge. Oh, okay. So, so what's cool is that this Banshee can represent 2 different mythologies. The Greek one of Hecate and the Irish one of the Banshee. So I thought what I may do is I may save that as far as using the Banshee for Tricky Bricks and replace the Banshee for this Let's Build Some Magic with this minifig, which is Willa the Witch. So, you know, when I was building this, I was looking for Willa. I couldn't find Willa, and this was a gift to me from Fourth World Adam. And she's also got this really cool back cape with the spider on it. So I'm kind of debating about it, because the only problem was if I switch this out with Willa, whoops, if I switch Willa out, the problem is the color palette is off. But the good news is it's Lego, right? We can change the color palette if we wanted to, because the color palette for her is primarily black and red, as you can see, with a little bit of yellow. Oh, hey, aw, Hecate, is that a Banshee? Yes. Well, that's what I was mentioning, Debo. And by the way, since Debo is here, you probably remember I was working on the Minions set. I'm just going to pull this one Minions piece because I put the characters away. But you probably remember this little tile of the Banshees, or I'm sorry, the Minions in the washing machine of the last build. So I remembered that there was a minion that would say Bedo, Bedo, Bedo. So I started saying today, Debo, Debo, Debo. So anyway, Debo, you got a new nickname now. So in addition to R2 Debo, you're now Debo, Debo. So if you're ever at a convention together, don't be surprised if we get a bunch of people singing Debo, Debo, Debo to you in a minion voice. I just think it's hysterical. So anyway, so as I mentioned, 4 challenges, all due within the next week or so. So we've got a lot, well, I shouldn't say a lot of work on our hands, but I wanted to show you what I was working on, which I think was super, super fun. And it's giving me a 3D texture, and I can use some comments about what I may want to do to embellish this a little bit more. So I'm going to move to my down camera. So hold on, let me move to my down camera and transition over. So yeah, so so I've repositioned it this way so you can kind of see the 2 different parts. So I'm going to start with the base here. So this is a 16 by 32, and I'm a minion, makes sense. Explains much. I was going to say, Debo, if you went to a con with a yellow shirt and blue overalls and a set of goggles, and you just went around going, Debo, Debo, with, you know, that little megaphone, I just started rolling. So it's up to you. But don't be surprised if I meet you in person, if I start singing Debo, Debo, Debo. Yeah, anyway, it's funny. And not necessarily that you're the minion, now that you think about it, because the minions are singing that. So if anything, we're your minions singing that. So anyway, all right, so what I did here is, you remember I had the alligator over here on this side. And the reason why I moved it over here is that when this ends up coming together, let me pan this up a little bit. So you can kind of see what I've been doing. And I'm going to have to angle it this way. So you can kind of see how this has this 3-dimensional look to it. And the if I put the alligator on this side with the moon, then your eye gets drawn too much over to the right. So what I wanted to do is I put the alligator on the left, so it's kind of like your eye kind of starts over here and then moves up. And then I was going to put the Banshee character, and let me see if I can put her in. Oops. Make sure I got clear space. I have this little jumper right here for her. So she's not quite center. She's a little bit off center, which is fine. And you can kind of see how this has kind of come together using a combination of burps, and something I'm kind of experimenting with is you're digging the layers. Thank you. Yeah, it's this really nice texture, which I'm really excited about. And then I also put the 1x2 translucent blue into the river. So then that way we have that. I still have a few gaps because they end up with 1x1s. So I need to find my 1x1s and put them there. And then what I did, you'll notice on this part, is that I made these little mounds, because when you have the burps in front, they're really chunky and they're squarish. And I wanted to give a little bit more roundness. And also because the moon is super round here, which is, by the way, it's on a rotator. We don't really need it on a rotator, but I think I put it on a rotator to give it one more dimension, kind of, you know, raising it up. So this is kind of, I put the mounds here because the burps are going to be in front, and I didn't want it to be too chunky, and I think that kind of breaks it up a little bit. Yeah, so this is what I'm working on right now. The other thing, let me see if I can zoom in here, is that I also added some texture of grass. Oops, I'll raise this up. There we go. So what I did is I put some green, and this is why it was great that I had all those green plates, because I also had these up brackets, these green up brackets, and I put the spiky grass over here. So I think I could add some more there. And the last thing I was looking at, which I'm not sure if it's going to work or not, it might be too bright. And I have and I was playing around with this, so this is why I wanted to get some feedback on this, is I was also thinking about putting a cloud here, or a set of clouds along the top. Like, even because we have the layers, that I could even move the cloud like underneath the moon, you know, and if I can find a few more of these, I can put that kind of, and I'm thinking, just looking at this, maybe even the one underneath it looks kind of cool. Yeah, so I've been playing around with a couple different things, thinking about what could happen, and I'm going to show, for those of you who missed the other episode, I'm going to show you how I'm constructing this so then you can connect the two together. So you can see here, let me see if I can set this over here for a moment. Okay. So the thing about how this is constructed is I ended up using Technic beams, and I'm not even sure if this is the real way to do it or this is just the way I figured out how to do it for me. And so I'm covering these Technic beams with the burps. Let me see if I can zoom in a little. This might be better. All right. So here are the two Technic beams, and the way it's connecting to the backdrop is through these 1x2s that are on either side. And I have a couple more pins that are here, and in retrospect, what I should have done, I put a pin here, a pin here, and a pin here. I should have done 2 pins, and then that would have given me another 1x2 to connect to. But so far, even with these 1x2s, 2 of them, it still stays. So I have this one Technic beam, the green one, connected to this plate. Another one, which is black, also connected to the base plate, but it's a little bit raised. Actually, hold on a minute. Does it have to be raised? It looks like it's a little raised, and I think it's because of the way that, oh, I know why. I think. Hold up. Let me take this off and see if it needs to be raised. Maybe it's a little bit off. It seems like it's a little off. Oh, that's right. There's a whole plate here. And I needed that because it needed to be raised up because of the way the ridges are. That's right. So you have a plate here, and then this fits over the plate to secure it down. And then you have this connected with Technic pins, and then you have a 1x2 and a 1x2 here on either end, and that connects the backdrop. So when I bring the backdrop in, and then you'll notice when off stream, what I did is I covered these with the burps. So when you look at it from the front, and I also covered the side with a couple of lavender slopes. So when you look at it from this side, you don't see the Technic pins because they're covered. So the trickiest part is just lining these up, so then that way the, let me see if I can do this again. And it's now heavier, so it's a little heavier, so it should still stay though. The clutch is strong. Oops, the clutch is super strong with this. So okay, so I've got the two 1x2s connecting. You accidentally made a functional Lego chainsaw today. What? A functional Lego chainsaw? You can actually cut things? That's crazy, Debo. But I would expect nothing less of you. Okay, let me see if I can raise this up a little bit. Let's see. Sorry, I've got a couple things on my right that are kind of in my way, so raising this up. All right, let's try that. Don't want these knocking over. Like I said, my elbows apparently find any loose Lego and things go tumbling down. Okay, so you can see here, we've got the connection. Now the only thing about this, and this is why sometimes it's better to go smaller than larger, is the Banshee kind of gets lost in this whole thing. So there she is right there. So, you know, one thought would be, does she have to be on the cliff? You know, maybe she can be in the water next to the alligator because the eyes are right here. But I do like the backdrop. I think the backdrop is super cool. The layering effect. And the way we did the layering effect is that each one of these trees is actually on a black plate. So you could build the trees separately on a black plate and then add them together in the format that you want. So you don't have to add and subtract. You just, you know, subtract a plate or move the plate around. And I really like that technique, so I'm going to use that some more. This was also a good find, because when I was putting the lavender on here, in fact, this is probably a good close-up, is this came from an elf set. So this kind of magenta set of leaves with these green spikes came from an elf set. And I did find a couple of spikes, so I thought I might want to add some more of these to the trees, so that would be something. Or, you know, because right now there's 4 of them on this one, and they put this little crystal on top, which I thought was super cool. So the color palette has expanded, because when I was looking at it, I was primarily doing lavender and black. And then with the green, which is perfect for the Banshee because she's Irish. And oh, speaking of which, if you read up about the Banshee, so she lets out a wail, like a sad kind of wail or a screech, when somebody is going to die. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I did not know that. But the other thing that was really cool is they say there's I guess, 5 families that have Banshees that follow them around. You love that yellow-green color? Yeah, yeah, and I think it glows in the dark. I'm not sure. I mean, I might have to test that out. I don't have one of those lights, so, you know, the black lights. I might have to check that out. But I think having those little yellow-green fang things might be kind of cool, and maybe looking for some gems to add to that kind of look. So what I did is, when I was looking at the color palette, it was mostly black and lavender. And then when I saw this, I grabbed that. So I thought maybe adding some more green, that yellowish green. Also looking at these leaves and looking at the balance of the leaves. Like I said, if you look at what I've done here, I think it looks pretty good. I'm kind of, you know, playing around with this cloud thing. Like I said, because of the layers, I could put like this one little cloud underneath the moon. I thought that might be kind of cool. I also thought the moon could probably use maybe some gray studs or something to kind of give it that you know, the man on the moon kind of look. I don't know. I'm still playing around with it. It looks like it should glow, but it don't. Okay, so you've tested it out. It does pop though underneath or with the black backdrop. And like I said, this technique, I was really surprised how strong this is, because as I keep adding more and more leaves and tree elements, this thing is holding strong. I mean, I'm really surprised, quite honestly, you know, because it's literally being held with 2 1x2s. It is UV reactive though. Is it UV reactive? Well, I don't know. So Debo, you said you tested it, so how much does it glow? I guess is the question. So, okay, so I think you're in agreement with me that we like these little green fang things, and maybe what I do is I add some more. I only have a few. I could pull some from my elf set, because this came from the elf set, and I know I have, I think, 3 or 4 more fangs over there that I could grab. Okay, so it sounds like, okay, what's your opinion about the cloud? I'm thinking the cloud might look pretty cool, like right there, like underneath it. So you kind of still get the layering effect. I'm going to gently set it down here just to see how it looks. It's not clutching. Why is it not clutching? Wow. Okay, there we go. So, I don't know. It might be too bright, but I think it looks kind of cool that way with that little cloud. Maybe I move this star. This star looks kind of close to it. So I move that star out of the way and maybe move it over here to be a little lower. Sadly, no reaction. Yeah. So, so I think it always goes back to you want kind of a balance, right, with the MOC. And like I'm thinking that we might be able to move one of these stars over. And see, now that looks too much in a row, so you're gonna adjust this a little bit. Are those from Regana's Castle? That's a pretty hard set to find. Great parts though. Yeah, it's the one from the Queen's Dragon's Rescue. So I have the white dragon that went with that set. And then there was a, it might have been Regana, there was a elf that had a cloak and really cool ears too. Yeah, so the other thing that's cool about that set, and what I'm thinking about doing, is that the base of the castle has a lavender staircase, and it's got black and purple for columns, and for it's a 2-story building. And it's similar to what I've done, what I'm thinking this through, like in in Friends, they always have like an open play set, and this other one, it looks like it could be cool that way. In fact, I could probably grab it real quick. Here, let me step aside and grab it because I think it'll fit right here. And then you can see the color palette, because now that Debo has turned me onto lavender, I'm now a Blavender fan. Everything I see, I look for black and lavender together. Okay, let me step aside real quick because I can see it right over there. I'll just grab it real quick and I'll be right back. So I'll talk while I'm moving. And this is really cool. I think I've grabbed most of it. I think I have most of it here. And this, I think, I'm not sure if this is the elf, because she has a special cape. She has this special glowing cape. So I know you're big into elves, Aubrey. So I'm not sure if this one, and let me set this down so you can see what I have to work with. Because this, the color palette of this is super cool. That's right, that set does come with things that are like Regana's Castle. Azari is the elf who comes with the Queen. Okay, so is this what did you go? Azari? Is this one Azari? That's Emily. Oh, okay. I'll have to look for the other one because I remember she had a hooded cloak, but I didn't see her over there. But going back to colors, and here, let me zoom in on this a little bit. So this might be one of those sets where, as much as I would like to keep it intact, I think it's going to become a mod. I think we're going to mod this set. All right, so here, let me zoom in a little bit, and you can see, check out this lavender staircase over here. That is super dope. And now that I've been looking for lavender for everything, so it's in a light lavender. You also have, let me tilt this for the camera. So it's a combination of green, purple, lavender, and black, which I just think that color combination is super cool. And it also has this this little play function. Let me see if I can get this to work. It's like the this thing raises up and down. Yeah, so there is this play function of this castle door that opens up and goes down. So I think there's just a lot of really cool elements here. Did Tricky Bricks ever do that All About Elves episode? I've been missing a lot of I'm not sure. I don't remember because I think that was a Wednesday episode and I may have missed it. But I remember I do have Aubrey who said she would be willing to come on my show and talk about elves. So we may have a special elves episode. Play functions, exactly, and even the staircase kind of retracts. And it's been interesting just looking at staircases in general. I think these are super cool, but it's also hard to integrate them into things. So that's why I've been playing around a little bit with that. But yeah, this had a couple play functions on it. And then on this side, I seem to remember, like I said, it's been a while since I've built this, but this is the ankle shackle that was on the dragon, and it has this translucent green chain, which is super cool. I can be your expert in unopened elf sets. Okay, you and I need to talk, because I may want some of those unopened elf sets. If you have any of the dragons, I would want to chat with you about those, if you're willing to part with them, Joel. But you haven't done that yet? You haven't done the elves episode, or you haven't done this set? Yeah, this set is super cool. It also has this flame yellow in here. I mean, just the color palette is super cool. More lavender. So we have the light lavender. And look at these adorable animals. I mean, look at this. This little fox thing. I don't know, Aubrey, I'm glad you're here, because you can tell me what is this. This is super cute. Alright, why is my camera not focusing? Alright, so you can see this super cute animal. Look at the detail on the face. And the little tail. And look at the back of the tail. I mean, that is super cool. Let me see if I can zoom in some more on this so you can see that. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Tricky Bricks hasn't done their elves episode yet. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we can maybe... Aubrey and I need to talk anyway. Because I think what might be cool, Aubrey, if you're open to it, is in addition to the elves discussion, if you want to do a recap of Brick Slopes, because you're going to be going to Brick Slopes soon. I mean, look at the face. Look at the face on that. I mean, I just love this animal. I'm not sure what it is. It looks kind of like a fox to me. But, you know, this magenta and green, and I think, where's my Banshee? Let's see how it looks with the Banshee. So, here's the Banshee. I think this could be like a sidekick to the Banshee. I mean, look at the faces. Doesn't that look like it could be, they could be a family? I think so. So anyway, yeah. All right, so now we have parts that we can use. So I think I've already decided I'm going to keep the dragon intact, more or less. I've already modded the dragon once. And then I'm thinking what would be kind of cool is to mod this, because I just think this structure is super, super cool. Just what they've done, but it's open-ended. You know, I like to do enclosed towers and such. And then I'm going to turn this around so you can see the play function on the back. Well, it's not really a play function, it's an open-ended. So you can kind of see here, let me zoom in. You can see the bed. So you see there's this little bedroom over here with a side table. There's jewels everywhere. The Banshee's familiar, exactly. Exactly. I thought the Banshee normally has a black dog with it, but that creature, that fox-looking thing, looks perfect, right? Yeah. So, yeah, so you see exactly where I'm going with this, Joel. Yeah. And then I'm trying to remember what this section was, but what's cool about it is that they have these translucent pieces. So I think this is a translucent green piece with a translucent green slopes. Yeah, they have a couple of those translucent pieces. And I'm looking to see if it's an obvious play function here. And then just the shaping they did too. Oh, here it is. There's the play function. Okay, so let me go back. I'm trying to remember what this was for, but I remember when Tricky Bricks did the bakery, it had a very similar play function, but this thing slides out. And, oh, that's right. There's this little knob here. Okay, there we go. Here, let me zoom out a little bit. So here's this little play function where you turn the knob and the knob comes back. Hey, Doc Sampson, how are you? So Doc recently went to Walmart to do a a discount run, and I was laughing because he's like, "We're in Seattle. We don't get discounts here. The best discount I got was 25% off. You know, we don't get the 40% discounts." All right. So what you just missed, Doc, is that this is the Banshee that I opened on my Twitch stream the other day, and then this is the sidekick that came in the Elves set, and these two like go together. So I think we're in agreement, Joel, that I should go ahead and maybe I should just go for the Banshee, because I was debating about maybe putting in, instead of the Banshee, Willa the Witch of my in my MOC. So here, let me step back a moment for those of you who just joined. I've been playing around with this layered effect for my backdrop. So you can see, let me move this out of the way, so you can see the alligator. So this is what I've been working on. And when I first started this, my very first, I guess, iteration of this, I had attached this base plate to the backdrop, and I hadn't done like all the burps that are here. And then I had set aside just a solid row of blue and a solid row of green on the base plate. So what I did off screen is I made this kind of, because you know I do a lot of Mills base plates. So I made kind of a rugged shoreline, and then I moved the alligator from this side over here, because when you look at this, your eye is drawn to the alligator and the moon, right? Because they pop. So I didn't want them both to be on this side. So I actually have this kind of like, oh, there's an alligator here. And then you see the moon, and then you see more details. And so now, you know, if I just set, let me see if this will fit right next to her. Okay, maybe over here. The problem is this tail is getting in the way. So I'm gonna have to maybe, oh no, don't fall back there. Don't fall back there. All right, okay, that'll work like that. So we have the Banshee and her familiar, which I think is super cool. Yeah. And as I mentioned at the top of the hour, the Banshee has two flames, because the Banshee is representing Hecate. So what we're probably going to do is have two different descriptions. For the let's do some magic, or let's build some magic hashtag, I'm probably going to just refer to this as the Banshee, because I think Hecate's mythology is a little too dark. So I think if we just stick with the Banshee for this weekend, because once I'm done with this stream, I'm going to have to take some photos and then post that, because her review is tomorrow at 1 p.m. In fact, here, let me put that in here. Sorry, my husband just got... Okay, what did I just miss? I'm looking at your chat. My husband just got home. Yes, I'm going to Brick Slopes. It's late August. We could do a recap. Good. Okay, cool. So maybe we have you come on to do an Elves episode, maybe before Brick Slopes, and then we could talk about Brick Slopes, kind of the preview, and then you can come back and talk about what happened at Brick Slopes. But yeah, let's chat. Let's chat and let's talk about that. I think that'd be super cool. So yeah, so anyway, going back to the model, the fox is Regana's sidekick. I think the fox goes with her color-wise. I love that fox. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna have to do some research when I do the Tricky Bricks description, because I still have time for Tricky Bricks, is that Tricky Bricks, dark is welcome in the Trickyverse. Exactly. I'm kind of new to Brick Huntress's community, so I don't want to like go in there with something super dark, like, yeah, we have Hecate, the goddess of necromancy. I don't want to go in there with that. So I think I'm going to stick with the Banshee. So for this model, we'll talk about the Banshee and the history of the Banshee and the magic that the Banshee has with regard to Irish culture. So I think this is going to be super cool because we can combine the two. So I think we're all in agreement that we're going to put the fox with the Banshee. And I think I'll keep the two flames together for the Banshee because I think it looks really cool. And when you look up the mythology of Hecate, it's really interesting because if I want to do the Tricky Bricks thing really to a bigger degree, you know, she's the goddess of the moon, she's the goddess of necromancy, she's the goddess of magic, she's, you know, got all this stuff going on. But I don't think I want to go dark for, you know, Brick Huntress. I think that might scare some of her community because I think she's got a very family-friendly community because I know a lot of them are doing Harry Potter and they're doing the magic of Disney. So I don't want to come in there and scare them off. So I think for this build, for tomorrow, like I said, I will be streaming again, you know, over the next couple days because we still have time for Tricky Bricks. As long as Hecate isn't flaying sacrifices alive, you're probably okay. I don't know. I mean, like I said, it goes back to, you know, you're just kind of introducing yourself to a new community. I've only done one build for her, and that was the fountain build. And then this will be my second build for her Let's Build series. But I just thought magic was super cool. Okay, so we got this, and this is nice because going back to where your eye is drawn, I'm gonna just tilt this slightly, is that when you're looking at this, you can see that your first eye is either drawn to the moon up here or to this alligator. At least I think, at least when I look at this. So then when you're looking at this, necromancy gives you hickeys. Well, I've got some skeletons here and some other things, but I think I'm gonna hold off on that. I'll do that for Tricky Bricks because I know they're big into dark. And I think if nobody else, I don't know if anybody else is going to do a Hecate mythology, but I think, you know, I've already done 2 mythologies for them. I did the Cloacina, the goddess of the sewers, and I did Fortuna, who is the Wheel of Fortune, who is responsible for your fate. So this one is Hecate, who is the goddess of crossroads, the goddess of magic, the goddess of necromancy. So she talks to dead things. And the other thing I thought would be kind of cool, now that I have the method, I could make a second set and expand on this, have the river continue, and maybe even have a bigger display. You have to go? Okay, no problem. Have a good night, Aubrey, and let's chat. Yeah, let's chat about your availability because I would love to have you talk about elves. I think that'd be a great episode. So thank you for your help. Really appreciate it. Okay, so going back to this model. So a couple things I thought we could work on today is this section here. I'm still kind of thinking, I want the burps here to kind of have the height so that you kind of show that this is a big mountain that's coming together. And now that we've added the fox and you know, we're going to just call this the Banshee. So for Brick Huntress, we're going to call it the Banshee and her companions. And how, you know, she has magic of the night and magic of the moon. And I'm just going to kind of leave it at that. I don't think I'm going to go down the necromancy, you know, and just talk about how she, you know, you'll hear the screams of the Banshee, you know, when she knows about what's happening, you know. I don't know. We'll make it more of a PG or a G-rated description, but I think this is close to being done. And as you can see with the layers, I have this mound here in the back, and it kind of looks a little dark. So I may want to add a few things here to make this pop a little bit. And then over here I have another mound, and I did the mounds mostly because I wanted to show where the trees were coming out of. And even in this, I might want to move her over a little bit because you can't really see the mound unless I move her. So if I move her like closer to here, Let me see if she'll fit. Oops. Let's see if she'll fit over here. Maybe on this side. Yeah. This is where I have to move the jumper over. Let's move her here. Let's see if... Oh. No, no, she doesn't like that. Alright, let's try it up here. Like I said, the problem with this is, I don't know if you can see this, but the bottom of the Banshee has this flare, and that's why you have to have a certain position for how she can fit onto your model. Okay, so if we put her there and put her familiar, like right there. Yeah, there we go. And then when I put this together, I'm going to wait for now, but you can see that the mound is a little bit more clear. I might need to even move her farther over because, like I said, you can see the mound there. And when I put it together, you can see the mounds, and that's where the trees are coming out of. Like I said, I'm still playing around with it, and like I said, if I am taking them apart, in fact, let me do it this way, is that if you look at it sideways, like that, yeah, I'm thinking what I may need to do is maybe add, like I have a little bit of lavender on the left one, so you can kind of see the mound, your eyes drawn to that. But I think it needs maybe some other color in there just to add some dimension. And then this one is completely lost. You can't even see that, even without the Banshee in the way. Let me see if I put this closer like that. You can see it's there, but I think we need to outline it a little bit. And I've even been thinking what I could do. In fact, let me see if I could try this. It might look a little too stylized instead of rugged. But I have a couple of these light gray macaronis that could fit here. So, in fact, let me put it on the one that's not popping. Maybe put this here. Let's see how this looks. So if we do this, ooh, that does look kind of good. Because then you can really see that mound pop. Yeah, you might have to do that. Just because it gets lost otherwise. Let me see if I have two more of those. I had set aside some for this Lavender City that I'm working on too. I have another one here. And aha! Yes! Here's another thought. I have this silvery one. So I'm going to try the silvery one on this one up here. See if it makes a difference compared to the gray. Oh, actually, this one's a silvery one too. Oh, I think this is the regular. Yeah. Alright, so let's try this silvery one. And then if the silvery one works better, then that would allow me to use this for the other one. So let's take a look when we end up putting it together. I mean, it might be a little too much, or maybe it's just right because it's recessed enough. And if I put some rocks in front of it, I don't know, what are your thoughts? Is it too much? Or maybe see, the one on the left pops more because it's the silvery gray. The one in the lower one doesn't pop as much because it's this regular light bluish gray. Let me see if I pull one of these off. Put this plain one down. See if it makes a difference. I think it doesn't make too much of a difference, actually. I mean, whether it's silver or gray, I think it pops more up top because of the light. Awesome. So you like it, Debo? I should put the silvery ones, and then that, like I said, if I use the silvery ones, I have plenty of those. So, and then that way the mound is actually pretty obvious. You can't really tell otherwise. And then it looks like the trees are like floating. And still, I'm also struggling with whether I should outline both sets of the tree trunks, but I kind of like it this way because the moon is coming here, so it's kind of shining on the trees this way. So, okay, thank you. Thank you for the feedback. Because I was like going, am I the only one who thinks this is cool? I think it's cool. All right, so we're gonna put these back on my Lavender City, the sidewalk area. We will use the silvery ones. I mean, if I really wanted to get stylized, I would do like 2 different shades. Like I would do the silvery one on one side, and then if I had dark gray or lighter gray or something on the other side, but I just don't have that, unfortunately. I do have these silvery ones though. So, okay. So we have those 2 sets of mountains, and then with the burps and this 3D effect, that's what it's going to kind of look like. And like I said, I can add some more texture. I mean, the other thing I can do is add some here going the other way, because we have this 3D effect. But you can see that I needed the burps to give it some height, because remember we had the 3 trees that were kind of floating in the air, and I didn't really care for that. So this tree on the right is kind of coming out of the ground, and then these other 2 are coming out of the mounds that are there on the back. So what are your thoughts about the cloud? Does it look good there, or should I take it out? I'm kind of leaning towards keeping it. And like I said, the other thing I was thinking, it might be good to put a few dots here on the moon for the craters. Or maybe, let me see if I have a 2x2 round, light, like a light gray, might be good. What colors do I have that will work? Thinking this is where it's also good to get a reference photo. So we may do some searches on the web a little bit for the moon. Yeah, I think there's some possibilities here. Because the other thing I'm wondering, let's see, dark gray or light gray. Yeah. I also have some brown, but I don't think the brown is actually in the palette. And then the other thing, which might be a stretch, is I have this green. But since we're adding green to the leaves, that green might also work, and it'll be more subtle. Okay. All right, we got options. We got lots of options. All right, and I just found my 2x2 squares. Awesome. I'm gonna set this elf thing down for a moment. Because like I said, I think what I'm gonna do is mod that. Why does it have to be an evil creature, banshee or evil goddess? It's not. It's not. In the one I told you, it's going to be PG-13 for the for Let's Build Some Magic, and the one for Tricky Bricks will be kind of more on the dark side. Yeah. So this goes back to how you can use one MOC for 2 different challenges. It all goes back to the description and how the description is. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to do some searches on moon photos with regard to how to make this a little bit, you know, instead of one big blob, to give it a little bit more dimension. Nix the brown on the moon. It looks out of place. Yeah, I thought so too. But the green, I'm surprised. This green might actually work because it's subtle. So that green might actually work, and it would tie in some of the green elements too. So I want to, let me look at some reference photos, because like I said, that's what I do. That's what I do, is I look at reference photos. All right, hold up. Hold up. All right, I need to expand that. Oh, this is interesting. Somebody followed me on Twitch 2 hours ago before I started streaming. Okay, all right, so what I want to do is, let me see if I can do window capture or website. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, this is the quirky thing about Streamlabs OBS is that no matter how much you pre-prepare, it will still not give you all the things you want. Okay, let's see, Chrome. Okay, all right. I think we got something going. All right. Let me go back to Google. Oops. Google. All right. And let me share this with you so you can see what I'm seeing. All right, here we go. All right, so I got this Google screen going, and like I said, I gotta adjust my thing so I can see Banshee tripping. So the Banshee will just make friends on one channel and kill on the other. Exactly. You see, on one channel, she'll be known as the Irish Banshee, which she is, right? Because she's from the video services, and will have that little cute fox as her companion. And then, you know, that she's, you know, lighting the way for people with her 2 torches, which is true. That's all true. Then when it goes to Tricky Bricks, she's going to be the goddess Hecate, who is, you know, the goddess of magic, the goddess of necromancy, the goddess, you know, she talks to dead people. So, you know, we could put an army of zombies, you know, and that's why I was saying I might even be able to make this even bigger and add another module to this. In fact, I was looking at the way this is designed, that this could go into a con with like a whole row of things to make it look like a story. So I'm actually kind of excited about this method, this 3-dimensional method. Okay, so we are going to look at moon craters, full moon. I should say full moon craters. Okay, why is the moon so scared with craters full passage? What? You never know what you're gonna see. Okay, all right. So let's look at images. And okay, wow. Okay, this may be. You know what I'm looking for is something more kind of like this, where it's more cartoonish. That's a little too not where I'm going with this. I want something a little more. Maybe I should put cartoon or something. Yeah, let me look for a full moon crater cartoon. Let's see what we got. Ah, this is more my speed. And see, here's one with the moon and the clouds. And it's yellow. All right, let's look at this some more. So, like I said, I like searching on the web to get inspiration. And as you can see, this is very close to what I'm doing. This kind of look with the clouds there, vector full moon, stars, clouds on the sky, cartoon, yeah. Yeah, see, this is more my jam. This is more what I am thinking about. And let me just check the chat real quick. Okay. Alright, so I don't know. What do you guys think? I think, you know, if we go back to when I was talking about the clouds, I actually think my cloud idea is actually pretty good, putting the cloud there. I do think it's interesting that they have purple and yellow, which are complementary colors, which looks really good. You know, if in the future, if I wanted to do this again, what I may do next time is if I went with purple, like purple plates for the backdrop, and then the black trees would really pop. So, but I don't have enough purple plates, so I can't do it for this one. Bansheee Easton. Okay, Debo. Can a Banshee trip the light fantastic? Probably. But if you go back, since we're on Google, let me show you this. Okay, so this is similar to what I think I'm going to go for. So I'm going to start a new Google search, and we're going to talk about banshees, right? Banshees and Irish mythology. So the banshee, which is interesting, so here are some of the images, is that the banshee can be seen also, which is very similar to Hecate, can be seen in 3 different images, either as a young woman, or as a matron, or as an old crone. And you notice that they have these crone pictures, and that this image here, if you delve deeper into it, this image here is the banshee cleaning at the side of a river the blood off of a garment of somebody who has died. So it's dark too. Let me just say, it was just interesting about the banshee's mournful wail, you know, and here's one where, you know, she's more stylized and very beautiful, and this is apparently Irish, and banshee actually comes from Bansheeda. So if you look at this spelling, B-E-A-N-S-I-D-H-E. So yeah. If you had another cloud piece, you could stick it on the moon near the top, hanging off towards the edge. Yeah. And that's the thing. I've got to look to see if I have more of those cloud pieces, because I think I do. I'm going to have to check my minifigs. But yeah. Okay, so you like the clouds. That's awesome. I'm surprised the X-Men Banshee didn't show up in that search. Well, I think if I added, you know, X-Men, it probably would have. Here's another one where she's got a cloak over her head, and she's got the Celtic cross, and she's shown as a beautiful young woman, right? So, and if you read the Hecate has 3 versions of herself as well. So actually Hecate and the Banshee are perfect. So the fact I opened up that video Banshee was also, you know, things happen for a reason. But yeah, so a lot of the Banshee ones, they can get dark too. So, you know, if you really want me to get dark, I could go get dark as well. But I think for Brick Huntress, I don't want to do that. This is probably more my speed of the Banshee. You know, this little cartoon drawing. I think we probably do that. Yeah, I mean, here, let me, I don't even know what the X-Men Banshee looks like, so let me add that to the search. Oh, okay. Well, this is interesting because the Banshee here is a man, unless you're talking about this one. This one says Siren. Is this the one you're talking about, the Banshee? This one? Because that looks like a man to me. And if you read up about Irish folklore, there are men who can be banshees, but they're called banhees. So Banshee and Banshee, which I thought was interesting. So let's see. And the other thing you'll notice is the color palette is that it's mostly green and yellow. And if Cornado is on here, I'd say this is an A's fan. The baseball team. The Banshee. The Irish X-Man. Okay, here we go. But see, they call him a Banshee, but if you read the Irish folklore, it actually should be a Banshee. So just FYI. Oh, here's another one. That's kind of cool. The Wail of the Banshee. Interesting. Okay, so this is your perspective, but when you read up about, you know, some of the Irish folklore, and what's interesting is if you look at something like this, you notice that underneath her, she's got like all this clouds and things, or this kind of wispiness, and they did that in the video, the figure. So I'm really impressed with the research that they did to create that, and I just thought it's super cool. But yeah, I don't see the Banshee from X-Men really working for what I want to do. Yeah. So going back to the full moon, so this I think is what I'm probably gonna kind of shoot for. And now that I'm looking at this, the other thing I could do is if I put like a 2x8 plate on top of the cloud, it could be kind of like that half cloud as well, because I have a place where I could do that. In fact, I might try that. So yeah, it's really interesting. Chris Claremont had me living a lie. Okay. As far as what a banshee is, that a banshee, you thought a banshee was a man? No, look it up. Look it up. It's a woman. It's a woman very similar to Hecate, who could appear in 3 different forms. And that's why I've just been fascinated with this whole thing. Whenever we do a mythology challenge, I go down a big rat hole. I dive deep in learning more about the culture. So I think the Banshee with the familiar, that'll be what I do for Brick Huntress. And I'll just talk about the Banshee. And in fact, let me see, going back to the search, Banshee magical powers. Let's do that. Magical powers. What kind of magical powers did the Banshee have? We don't need images for that. Okay, that one is the X-Men. Physiology, piercing scream. Okay, powers and abilities. Okay. So, a Banshee, Irish and Scottish in origin, a female death omen spirit that manifests to herald the approaching death with wailing. And let's see, I thought they had a section with characteristic powers. There we go. Powers and abilities. A piercing scream, which is perfect for video, right? Because she is the singer. Because when she comes in the pack, she has the 2 microphones. Produced a high-pitched scream that causes their intended victims to bash their own heads to relieve themselves of the pain. Babies can be rendered deaf through exposure to a banshee scream. Wow. Okay, flight. That's another power. Banshees can travel through mist, allowing them to entry into most places, so that's kind of cool. And telekinesis. Banshees can use telekinesis to subdue their victims. Ooh. So Banshees are kind of dark. So, but for Brick Huntress, I'm not going to go dark. I'm going to keep it kind of light and just say the Banshee and her familiar are keeping, you know, keeping the light during the dark, because she's a, you know, she's a moon creature or something. Okay, so weaknesses. Celtic sigil trap, a variation of the Celtic Trinity knot. 2 sigils must be drawn at the opposite ends of each other. Once blood is used to activate one of the sigils, the Banshee will be pulled to the other like a magnet, trapping it. Interesting. Wow. Celtic spells, a mixture of rosemary, sage, Oregon coriander tea, yarrow powder, and a handful of chicken bones. Along with the blood of the person performing the spell can banish a Banshee. Whoa! Whoa! Oh my gosh. Wow. This is too much of a shock to my system. I have to regain my composure. Be right back. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, Devo. I'm sorry about that. Chris Claremont never mentioned Professor X was British until I saw the movies. Okay. Okay, so the last weakness of the Banshee is a gold blade. Simple contact with pure gold can burn a Banshee. Piercing its heart with pure gold blade will kill it. Wow. Wow. Interesting. So, so now you know. Banshees are pretty fierce. They're pretty fierce creatures. Now, I wanted to show you, let me see if I can find that apparently in the lore, they follow 5 families. And I wanted to mention this to Bricks O'Brien because one of them is the O'Brien family. Okay, let me look this up. Let's see, let's go back to Google again. Okay, because like I said, I did a lot of research. I go deep. I go deep when I start researching these things. O'Brien family. Yeah. Banshees and the O'Briens. Okay, so what families does the Banshee follow? Okay, so here we go. There are only 5 major families that the Banshee will follow. That's the O'Neills, the O'Briens, the O'Connors, the O'Gradys, and the Kavanaghs. So if you think about that, Bricks O'Brien, I might have to send him a Banshee in the mail and say, this Banshee is following you. I think it's hilarious. I don't know if he knows this. So, you know, maybe I need to have clip this and send it to him. Not many people are going to have a gold blade. Makes them nearly unkillable. Yeah, because gold is pretty pliable, right? So, yeah. So going back to, it seems like when you read more about the lore, that the Banshees typically follow these 5 families, and each one of them has different kind of, I guess, characteristics. So it's not like, not all Banshees are made alike. So if you are an O'Brien, your Banshee is going to be one way. If you're a Kavanaugh, it's going to be another way. So, and then here I wanted to show you this. Is a Banshee a witch? So it's a female spirit in Irish folklore who heralds the death of a family member, usually by wailing, shrieking, or keening. So I think we could say it's magical. But anyway, so I'm going to do the Banshee and her familiar. And, oh, going back to Banshees, let me just say, I think it's a black dog. Banshees and black dog. Yeah, because usually, oh look, and there's O'Brien. Let's look at that. Yeah. So, let's see. Black dog syndrome. No, we don't want that. Okay, well, I'm not finding it here, but anyway, there's a Sheridan Leigh Fanagos of Capilizod. That's a terrible Irish accent. Anyway, I read that the companion to the Banshee. All right, what is the companion to the Banshee? And I'm pretty sure it's a black dog. I'm pretty sure. A cartel market companion, which originally comes from the in-game cartel market. What? No, that's not what I'm looking for. Companions and contacts. Okay, let's see if it's here. Like I said, I don't make this up. I know that I find these things. Oh, this looks like a video game. This doesn't look right. Nope, 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 nope. I'm looking for companion creatures. Gaelic. Looks like an old cat with seaweed hair. Oh, did we just get somebody following me? See, I got my alerts now set up. So I won't miss things now in the future. So, oh, Lego Nerd 10,000 followed me on Twitch, which is weird because I'm not even streaming on Twitch right now. So they must be finding my my videos. So maybe things are turning around. I don't know. It's funny because I think 4 days ago I was ready to throw in the towel with Twitch because I honestly I prefer YouTube, but things have turned around. So I think I'm going to give it my best shot. I've turned on alerts. I'm going to also what Jang does is he does for people who subscribe. You can interact by using hashtags, or not hashtags, exclamation commands. So I may start doing that. But I'm going to stop the hat wearing. So I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm changing my bits up. I'm changing them up. They're gonna be different. But I will still not be eating any nasty flavored jelly beans. Just so you know, I've never done it. Not going to do it. It's not gonna happen. Alright, so anyway, I just, like I said, I've got the alerts on now, so I'm really being careful about this. Okay, so a banshee looks like an old hag with seaweed hair and rotted teeth and no eyes. Wow. Okay. Alright, so I'm not gonna go down this rat hole very much more. So I just wanted to share with you that, yeah, banshees are, I think, can qualify as witches, and I think, I'm sorry that X-Men had it off. I'm sorry if I burst your bubble there, Debo and Joel. But hey, Boss Minecraft 89, how are you? Welcome to the stream. We are just doing a little bit of research. In fact, I can turn this off now. We don't need this website. Yeah, I was just doing some searches on banshees and familiars, because what I'm doing is I'm doing this MOC for 2 different challenges. So welcome, glad to have you here. Yeah, so this is what I'm working on right now, and we were just talking about I'm going to add a plate to make this this cloud, make it like a half cloud, because I think if Robin Eklund is still here, she had suggested that I also put one maybe on top of the moon over here, you know, on this upper right corner. So yeah, so this is the model I'm working on right now. It's actually a 2 pieces. So this is the 16 by 32 bottom, and then this connects like this to make it like a 3D type of effect. So right now what I'm working on is the base and these mounds. So right before you joined, I was adding this silvery part to make the mound pop a little bit more. And we were just talking about the clouds, and we were looking at the moon to give it some other features. So in fact, I might throw in one of these green, let me put this green one over here, because this is on a rotator as well. So we might be able to put some, I think the green might be subtle enough that it might work. One cloud never does it for me. Okay, let me see if I have more clouds. Because the thing is, those are like base plates for figures, and I don't have a lot of those. They came with the Unikitty figures, so I'm looking at some of my figures now. I might have to go trade for some. But you're right, one cloud, it's kind of like, we need at least 2 or 3, right? I'm going to look at every stash I have where I might have a cloud plate, because those cloud plates came from some of the CMFs. Aha! Do I have one here? No! Or the other thing is I could maybe fake a cloud. I mean, the other thing I had, which is a little too big, is this. If I want a massive cloud, I could put this somewhere, but you can see it's way too big. Way too big for this. And then, as I was mentioning, if I wanted to cover this up to make like a half cloud, I could do it with a plate like that. So I'm playing around with this idea, but that's not quite right because this plate's a little too big. But I do like this idea of maybe half clouds kind of floating in the air. But I have to find more clouds if I'm going to do that. Alright, I don't have them in here. Yeah. So this is, I think, one of the Unikitties. Prince Puppycorn, I think. And I think this is the one that came with that cloud. Okay, I have a second one. This one came from the Mario set. I just took it off the Mario set. So you're saying to put it behind or in front of the moon? Like right there? I think you meant behind the moon, but I'm not sure if you meant on top of the moon. So that it's covering the moon, maybe? Let's see. If we do it this way. Trying to line this up. Alright, if we do it this way, we'll move this out of the way for a moment. Now the thing is, it's heavy, so the moon is moving. I could get that to stop, but I see where you're coming from, though. That could work. Maybe a little lower. I'm gonna look at the chat. So hold up. In front, more dimension that way. Yeah, I think maybe it needs to be a little lower because right now it's here. Let me move it one more stud down. But now that I've got that, I'm going to have to change the rotator out because the rotator is making it move. So now I got to take the rotator out. But yeah, so we got the two clouds like that. That could work. And then if I add the green for the kind of a little crater. Let's see. Haha, yeah. I know. I love rotators, but sometimes they don't work in your favor. So let's see. Yeah, that might be about the right proportion right there. And that little green crater, and maybe I add another couple of small, like light gray rounds or something to represent craters on the moon. Okay, so we need to move this. We need to take the rotator off. So here's the rotator. So I can just put a 2x2, a straight 2x2 on the back of this. Or, let me see, let me think this through. Yeah, I think I'm going to need one more. Yeah, I need a 2x2. And this one's hidden, so it doesn't matter what color it is, but I'm going to put this orange one back in. Smaller dots, exactly. Yeah, small dots. Small dots will do it. Okay. How's that look? Actually, that looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Maybe I need to move everything down a stud, because right now it seems like it's really close to the top. So if I move everything down a stud. Like that. And then I can move this star out of the way. You like it a lot? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I do too. Yeah. Yeah, that looks really cool, doesn't it? Alright, so now maybe we'll add some dots around, kind of speckled, but not too heavy. That's why I'm thinking that that green actually might work well if I have more of that green in dots. If not, I have some in gray. Okay, let me grab these gray ones because I can see them now. Yeah, I don't want it super dark because you don't want too much contrast, but I have these light gray ones. But before I put those down, let me see if I have some green ones. Oh, oops. Oh no, everything's falling off. Let's see if I have some of that green. Yeah, I'm going to need to think about how I manage my dots. Because I do like these trays, but they take up a lot of room. Let's see, I should have one more tray of dots. Where did that extra tray of dots go? There it is. Okay. I do have that. And they're round, too, which is perfect. Okay. So I have I think maybe we'll stick with this green. So we have the green, so it provides enough kind of dimension to have craters on the moon. There's 3 of them. Like I said, they're green, so and here's the gray, just for comparison. If we go with the light gray instead. So you can kind of see the light gray, but I think the green actually pops more. Here, let me zoom in a little. Yeah, the green actually pops more than the gray. So I think I'm going to stick with the green. Yeah, I like it too. Sorry, I put this chat box there. I tried to make it smaller this time. Last time it was huge. Like I said, I'm still learning. That might be enough. We may not need to do much more than that. Just to have, you know, a sense of the moon and the craters of the moon. And if I want to, this bottom one, if I want to make this like a half one, let me see if I can play around with that. Because we need like a 2, I want to say a 2 by 8 maybe. Let me see if I have a 2 by 8 in black. Yeah, you learn new techniques when you kind of play around. Okay, so I have a 2 by 8 in black. If I put this down, it might be too much because you won't be able to see it, but it kind of does that effect. Well, actually, that's not too bad. That's actually not too bad. I think I need to move it over a stud. Or maybe I need to move it over 2 studs. So you have that kind of look. I can't really do it on this one because it's in front of the moon. But that one, the other one, I can. That's kind of cool. And if it's too much, I could also maybe put a white set of jumpers underneath. Let me try that. If I put a set of white jumpers underneath and move it down just a half a stud. Let's try that. So in this case, we need to do them vertically. And I won't have to worry about this too much because the plate is going to cover that. Oops. Alright, I guess it's telling me to do this separately. Alright, so we're going to do this. Just to move it down half a stud. They did this a lot in the haunted house, where they do a series of jumpers like that. And then when you place this black here, it will give you a little more cloud. Actually, I like that. Alright, so let's put this down here. So we have this half cloud kind of going against the sky. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Because you don't want it to detract from too much. It's more like, oh my gosh, that looks great. That looks awesome. You're back, mostly. Hey, Devo, sorry to traumatize you about the Banshee. I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to traumatize you. But while you were gone, we added 2 clouds, and this one I put a black 2 by 8 in front of it, offset by 3 1 by 2 jumpers, and so it looks. You love that? Thank you, Robin. Yeah, I like that too. I think that looks really cool. And there really isn't a good way to cover this one up because it's on top, so we'll just leave it. But I think having one half cloud and a full cloud in front of the moon, yeah, that looks really good. And I think the green is enough contrast, but not too, you know, distracting. And the green works with the palette because we have some of these horns and stuff. Bene? Molto bene. Grazie. Thank you, Debo. Debo. You're gonna have to hear me say that. Sorry, Debo. Now that I've done that minion set, I just imagine you with that megaphone. So, or actually, we would have the megaphone saying that for you. All right, so we got the Banshee now. Yeah, she'll be over here with her companion next door. Let's see, why is this not seating? Like I said, that's the only problem with these video figures is that because the bases are really different, sometimes they don't, you know, they only fit on one stud. Okay, why are you not seating? You were earlier, there we go. All right, so we've got the Banshee. Sorry, I'm off camera. We got the Banshee and her familiar. This will connect over here. So then that way we have that. And we have now the clouds. I really like that cloud method. I'm going to have to do that again in the future. Okay, so now the last thing we have to work on is this corner here with the... now, if it's a Banshee, maybe I should put a tombstone there. Maybe that should be a graveyard. I don't know. I'm trying not to make it too dark. Now you're going to have to make a filling minion MOC. Yes, you will. And you'll have to say, Debo, Debo, Debo. So, I don't know. I'm thinking about if I put a Celtic cross. I wonder if I can do a Celtic cross with the parts I have. Like, it would be kind of cool if you had like a Celtic cross. You know, it's very simple to do. It's got the center. In fact, here, let me go ahead and let me show the website again, because Celtic crosses are just super cool. And let's see. All right, let's go back to Google again. Let's do a Celtic cross. We saw one already with that Banshee, but yeah. See, it's not too hard to do. If you have a two circles with the cross in the middle. And I'm just trying to think about what I have that's small. Oh, we could use dots. We could use dots, and we could use yeah, let me see what I have. But I think a Celtic cross with a little graveyard might be kind of cool right there. And that would work for both the Banshee and for Hecate as well, because she's into necromancy, right? Yeah, but this Celtic cross, and there's a bunch of different ones. Yeah, these are awesome. But this one would be the simplest one to do, something like that. I mean, I don't know if I have those angle plates to do something more like this. But yeah, this would be super cool to put a Celtic cross there. Okay, let's see what I can do. Like I said, that green area needs something. So I think a graveyard actually would be perfect. So let's see. I guess I am going dark with this, aren't I? I said I wasn't going to go dark, but I mean, if you think about it, I mean, when this is all together, it's going to look like that. And it might look a little busy, so I'm still kind of on the fence about some of these, but I do, and I even, in fact, maybe I should connect it just to look at it real quick, because it will, we got to make sure it's going to stay too. Because the clutch power is really tight when it clutches. Yeah, there we go. All right, so going back to, oh, I love the clouds. From this angle, it actually looks really, really cool. All right, let me zoom out some more. All right, so the question is, all right, you see the mound there in the back? like I said, she's kind of blocking it. That's a little bit better. But like I said, I think I'm going to have to build this up a little bit. I have some lavender slopes. I could put a few lavender slopes there, just to kind of have it match the other side. And like I said, I'm kind of doing this on the fly, so I'm not sure how this is going to look, but I can always change it off screen. I'm going to turn it this way so I don't mess things up. But so when I angle it, it kind of breaks it up a little bit. Probably need one over here too, but that's right now where I have the Banshee sitting. Maybe I need her farther over. In fact, let me see something, because I have the way I did those spike things is I used these green 1x2. Let's see. Probably would need her closer over here. Okay, I'll have to think about that some more. So here's the problem, is that this looks pretty good because you can see it, but once I put her in front, it's kind of pointless, right? This is her original position. Oops. Her original position was here. And when I put this together, I don't know, maybe that still works. Maybe I need to move her companion, because the companion was covering this side. I mean, this is where the companion was before, the fox. Or maybe I'm overthinking this. I don't know. It also goes back to the eyes, right? Where do you want the eyes to go? And I just think right now it covers it up too much. Here, let me take a look. Speaking of clouds, you're starting the Final Fantasy VII remake, or Fast and Furious. FF7. I'm gonna say Fast and Furious, maybe. All right. I don't know. I'm on the fence about this because, like I said, I like the consistency with the mounds. So then that way, when you look at it from a distance, you have like the two mounds in the distance, the cragginess of the cliffs in front. And like I said, if we put a Celtic knot here in like a little grave site, maybe she's better off over here somewhere. Here, I'll put her in the water for now. Things that maybe I should put her over here so then it doesn't cloud that. So like I said, I play around with these things all the time until it looks the way I want it to look. But I do like what we did with the clouds. The clouds look amazing. They look awesome. And I like the river. And as you know, I made those 1x2 plates. And this alligator is just being connected with one stud right here. So that one stud keeps the alligator in place. Let's see. So alligator stays there. Yeah. And in a way, I'm also wondering if it's a little too cluttered. I don't know. Sometimes I look at things and I think, gosh, you know, that's kind of busy. maybe I shouldn't have gone too far with that. But I don't know. I mean, it looks good too. All right. I do like the clouds and the moon. I do like that. But all right, so let's try this Celtic cross idea. Because if the Celtic cross is going to be here, I think it needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 to 8 studs long at the max, and then we have to put the dots kind of in the middle. So, and I'm thinking too, if we want to keep to the color palette. Good night, peeps. You gotta vamonos. Okay, see ya. Take care. Take care, Joel. So if we're gonna go with the lavender theme, I do have. I'm looking at what I have. Trying to think about circles. What do I have with circles? But I do have a lot of these 2x4s. So at least making it 8 tall, that's definitely doable. So if this is the height of the cross here, that might be too tall. I think 6 is probably better. So let's move this down a little. And I think I have a 1x2. I know I do. I'll just put it in here. Alright, so here's, yeah, I think a 1x6 is more what I need. I don't have a 1x6 in lavender, unfortunately, so I've got to kind of fudge it. Fudging it. And then what I'll have to do on the back is I'm going to have to put a jumper on the back so it'll be even. So yeah, let me find a jumper. And I really want it to be kind of, yeah, maybe I need to put it up here. Jumper. Yeah, it goes back to, you know, what is this going to be used for? It's just decoration, so. And this goes back to, I wish I had these in lavender. So that's kind of the size of the cross. And then if I can get a circular, I guess a 2x2 plate. Let me see if I have a 2x2 plate. That's really pretty chunky. And I know I won't have it in lavender. Oh, I have it in purple. Wait a minute. I have this purple. This could work. And it has a little hole in the middle. So that's kind of cool. And once again, I may need to offset it. Yeah. It's like, how many layers do you need? Yeah. I'm going to have to offset it with the, I think, moving up. Once again, using 2 jumpers, kind of moving it up a little. All right, let's see what we can do. We're, like I said, we're just playing around. Oops. Yeah, this isn't gonna work, I don't think. Well, maybe. I shouldn't discount it before I try it. Yeah, that spacing is correct, but now the gray is in the way. So I don't know. Maybe a Celtic cross is a little too much. Maybe just go for a standard cross. Or wait a minute. What if I put it behind instead of this jumper? All right, wait a minute. So what I'm going to do now is, let's see. No, I'm still going to have to. Ugh, I just need something to center it. Yeah. No, it's still the same problem. Oh, wait a minute. Will that work? Like I said, I kind of talk out loud. The toilet seat lifesaver thingy piece, maybe. Oh, I don't think I have those in the right color. That's not too bad. Like that. It's not too bad, because if this was lavender, that would be awesome. But if I have like a 1x2 slope, I don't think I have that in lavender either. Maybe I shouldn't use lavender. Maybe that's the key. Maybe I should be using a different color. But now here's the key, is now that I have that, I can attach it to one of these and then put this onto the green base plate. All right, let's just see how that looks. That's not bad. Actually, that's not bad at all, placement-wise. I'll have to move the Banshee out of the way, but let's see. Let's move her out of the way for a moment, just to kind of give you a sense of how this is gonna look. Well, like I said, this has been an interesting method, but it works, and I'm very super excited about using this in the future. Oops. Just lining these up. Okay, there we go. All right. So we have this little Celtic cross there. I'm almost tempted to just look for the gravestone pieces, right? The ones that they have for the some of the Halloween sets. But if I have that cross there, and here's that Banshee, I will need a stud. Let's see if I can find a green stud. But yeah, I mean, that thing is solid. I mean, it's being held by two 1x2s, and it's still solid. Be back in a bit? Okay, sure, no problem. Okay, this isn't green, but this will work. I'm going to put this on the bottom of the Banshee, because, like I said, the biggest problem with this Banshee is this flare just takes up a lot of space, so I'm offsetting it by a stud, and then I could place her pretty much anywhere. And if I put her on a stud, she can turn as well. I do like the two flaming torches. Yeah, that's actually not bad. Maybe I do need to put her down here with her little fox companion. And then that way the mounds are not covered. Yeah. I might need to put some slopes or something over here, maybe even raise this up a little bit. But you can see, yeah, I could raise this up a little bit, like on a mound. The question is, should I use these slopes? Yeah, I don't see why not. Why not? Let's see. Because once again, we're on a 1x2 here, so. Though it might look kind of weird because green, but look at that. That goes right into the bottom there. If I put a jumper in the middle, let's see, so I have another gray jumper. There we go. So if I put this gray jumper, oops, sorry, and I'll put this gray jumper Where did I put the cross? There it is. All right, so we are, like, just when I said it's being held by 2 1x2s. All right, so we're gonna take this and we're gonna put the jumper right here. And then put this here. Oh, that actually looks pretty dope, yo. Look at that. That actually looks not too bad. It's still a little off. I would want this to be a little bit higher up, but I don't think I would be able to do that unless, would it fit on a stud? Let me check something. Hold up. Yeah, I think what I'm playing around with is that this might actually fit on the stud right there. So I need to add a stud. Hold up, hold up. I think we might be able to make this work. I'm looking for a gray to keep the palette the same. Okay, moment of truth here. Moment of truth, folks. You put this here, so it raises it up just a little bit. And put this here. Purple would be better, but that's not too bad. That's actually probably the closest I've come to a Celtic cross. Like I said, that one stud, the color is a little off. If I have it in light lavender, it would be perfect. But let's see if we put this here. Oops. Actually, I might even need to raise it a little bit. Let me add a couple of 1x4s, and that'll give it more stability too. I'll get some 1x4s here. Let's do 2. Now, this is hard because I've got this backdrop. I'm trying to build for the camera. The backdrop is in the way. Alright. So, I'm doing my best, folks. This is why I was telling you, streaming is an art, because you have to build for the camera. So you see what I did is I put 2 plates here, and that's kind of my Celtic cross. And let's put this over here. That might be too tall, but I'm gonna go for it. Let's see how it looks. I might need to move it over 1 stud. Looks cool? Thank you. Yeah, I do like that. And then we have our little companion there. And put this back here. Put the Banshee back on her stud. And she can turn. I think she needs to probably move over 1 as well. That's the great thing about Lego, is that it's easy to move things around. Yeah. And like I said, I do like things on rotators, so this companion might have to be on a jumper too. Let me see if I have a green jumper. I'm pretty sure I do. This dark green, yeah. Are there crocodiles in Ireland? Good point. So anyway, so they could be looking this way. Or maybe she needs to be more center. I just think the crocodile's cool. You're right, though. There probably aren't crocodiles in Ireland. Good point. Oh, Glenn, how's it going? Me joins the party eventually. Well, we have been working with, here, Let me zoom out a little bit. So this is, you probably left last time when I had just put together the two Technic beams behind these burps to connect the black backdrop to the bottom. And we had opened the Banshee, and I put two torches in there so she could be Hecate. And now I just made this Celtic cross here for like a little graveyard. And what I'm now looking at is, we were talking about, should I take the alligator out? Would it be better without the alligator? It'd be more like a, maybe it's too distracting. Called my own creation for a reason. Yeah, that's true. All right, I'm gonna take the alligator out just for, you know, somebody might ask, are there alligators in Ireland? So there's the kind of the landscape. What we did is we just added this Celtic cross here for like a little graveyard, and now we're trying to figure out where to put the Banshee. And for tomorrow, this is for Brick Huntress, so I'm not going to go too dark on the one with the Brick Huntress. And then when I come back to this, probably on either Sunday or Monday on Twitch, I will add the elements for, you know, tricky bricks to make it like necromancy and, you know, probably some zombies and maybe some skeletons and some other things. But so now I'm trying to figure out where to put Hecate and her companion, because originally I had her here, but I think this is too close to the mound. Nice craters on the moon, clouds are nicely done. Thank you. Yeah, we did that too. And we decided on the lime green so that it didn't contrast too much, and plus we have some lime green in the St. Patrick chased out the snakes, not the alligators. Okay. Yeah, we can say that. We can say the alligators stayed. Actually, if somebody wants to Google if alligators are in Ireland, that would be nice to know. Okay, so now it goes back to, where do we put Hecate? Because when I had her up top here, like I said, there she is now. She kind of covers the mound in the background. So that mound, oops, gets, you know, occluded. And like I said, this thing is only held by two 1x2s. And I've been holding it at an angle like this. But when it's here, it seems like it's pretty solid. Yeah, so maybe I build a little platform for her here, is another thought. Because right now, just looking at it, I don't have a lot of space here. I put some 1x2s slopes, mostly to just give her, or to cover up those Technic beams. Had you playing in the background, just saw the MOC, and damn, that backdrop is smoking. Thank you. Yeah, see, you gotta pay attention there, Doc. Yeah, we added the clouds here and the moon, and we added some craters there. Now what I need to do is figure out where to put her so that she still pops but doesn't take away from the backdrop. So I'm thinking maybe raised up right around here. Not enough thumbs up. Oh, okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Like I said, I focus on MOCs. That's what I do. And you got to clean up the garage, Lando. Yeah, we all do. So, okay, so let me ask. Doc had mentioned the alligator might be too distracting. So now that the alligator's out of the picture, should I maybe go with this? And maybe there's, you know, I just do a landscape of the river. That could be an option. Or here's another thought. What if I put her right here, right in the front? So she's like talking to you. And now that the alligator's out of the way, I could put her over here. You know, maybe this is her domain. So like I said, now I just got to figure out where to put her, because it goes back to, she's the centerpiece of this whole thing. So if I put her here, I don't know. and the rest of it's just a backdrop. Or like I said, I'm kind of inclined to put her closer to the gravestone, because that's kind of the whole mythology of the Banshee, right? Is that she wails because she knows somebody's gonna die. So, alright, I think I'm gonna put her right around here. So now I gotta figure out how to raise that up and give her a space, and her companion, the line fox. I'm gonna have to look up that character too. But right now, just from the top view, I'm gonna zoom in because that'll help me out too. Is that there's not a lot of lavender that's there. So yeah, I think I can maybe put a couple lavender slopes kind of in that direction maybe. Because I have lots of those. I got lots of lavender slopes. If I can find them. They were just here. There they are. Yeah. And like I said, there's, well, if I decide to take this apart, I do have this lavender, also this slope here. But I want some place for her to actually hang out. So I think I'm going to pull, let's see, I probably should grab a brick separator, because like I said, the angle here is terrible. Just said. Am I going to be able to get to it? Because like I said, for me, this angle is awful. Ah, there we go. Okay. All right. And this is, I think, what I've found when I'm working on these MOCs is that, and so you can see the, right here, there's the Technic beams, so we kind of need to cover that anyway. And I have a couple slopes here that are in this dark gray color. So let's see. Don't forget, our goal is to give her a place to perch and also to cover that up in the back. And I have a couple of these. So let's cover the back. Yeah. Because like I said, this Technic beam was there for convenience. Alright. Like I said, I'm kind of doing this on the fly. And it's almost like, I guess, you know how those doctor's offices, how they have like some device that helps you see? That's the kind of where I'm at right now. Alright, let's see if I put another one this way. Now we need to cover that beam up. I think we'll do that. Let's see if we can do it this way. Oops. Let's see. Yeah, we got the green. No! Keeps slipping. Alright. I think. There we go. Okay. So now the green is covered. We still have a little bit there, but I think for now, that might be where she perches. Might be roughly there. And like I said, because she has that flare, I'm going to have to put her on this outside stud, maybe with a 1x1. Where'd the 1x1 go? You could take the one for the alligator. But yeah, Doc brought up a good point. Maybe the alligator's too distracting, right? Alright, so I put a stud on the bottom of there. So let's see what happens. See if she will fit on the edge of that. I can feel it. Oops. Ah. And like I said, for me, I'm working blind because I can't see it in front of me. So I've got to kind of concentrate on the top cam. Okay, I think I got it. There we go. Okay, so that's her new perching spot. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. And then when I add her companion, and I could just add her companion right next to those slopes. No! And this companion's tail gets in the way. Like I said, that tail. All right, let's see if we can do this. All right, let's put this jumper down. There we go. Okay, jumper's down. The box thing goes here. Okay, and then move her back on her perch. Yeah, I think people don't realize when you're streaming, it's a lot harder because you have to stream for the camera. And in my case, I don't have an overhead camera, so it's on the side. So I can't actually see this because this backdrop is in the way. So I'm kind of doing this by feel and also looking at the top camera. Okay, I'm gonna have to turn this so I can see it. Sorry guys, it's just very frustrating. See if I can get this on her perch. Because it was working earlier. There we go. I think part of the reason is that spiky grass is cutting into her hair. Alright, let's try that. And let me turn her so she's facing. Ciao, Deebs. Bye, Debo. Bravo! Got a jet. Okay, thank you. I'm glad you like it. And like I said, she's only being held by one stud, so... Alright, I think that's a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Yeah. I think that's gonna do it. Let me zoom out. Alright, so did we decide to not use the alligator? I don't know, I kind of like the alligator. I think I'm gonna put the alligator back into play. Even though they may not, nobody's told me if they did a search on alligators in Ireland, so. They have swamps in Ireland. Why not? Why couldn't they have alligators in Ireland? And it's a banshee. So banshees, if you remember when you look at the legend, they follow the O'Brien family. So Bricks O'Brien, if he ever watches this, you got a banshee following you around. Yeah, I like the alligator because of the color. So yeah. Okay, so let's zoom up here. Yeah. Okay, so I think the last thing that I need to do is figure out these spikes and whether to put these jewels into some of the trees. I think that's the last thing we need to do. Because I think the banshee and the fox, that'll bring the eye over here. And, oops, I want this to fall apart again. There we go. Yeah. And then the alligator will bring your eye down to the lower left. The moon will bring your eye to the upper right. And then I can do a close-up shot of the banshee here near the graveyard. Which actually is appropriate. That actually works out. And then what I'll probably do off stream is just decorate the edges of, you know, the banks. You know, putting some grass and some other things. I mean, unless you want to watch me do that. So, the common or viviparous lizard is Ireland's only native reptile. Ooh. Okay. What color is it? Is it like this tan color? And can it live in the water? It may not be an alligator, but lizard works. Okay, and there's the chameleon. I have a chameleon. I do like having a river here, though. And if you read the mythology, she usually is by a river, washing the clothes of the bloody garments of the person who just died. Like I said, mythology can get pretty dark, but I like this. And like I said, the last thing I think I need to do is figure out these little these teeth on some of these leaves. So I might have to take this whole thing off, but this tooth, yeah, it's starting to fall apart. Okay, so we got 3 up here, and if I put, you know, a couple on the others, and let's see, I found a few, and then I'm gonna have to take them off of the other model. And the other model has these green jewels, so I may go ahead and put some of these green jewels on. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah. If I put a green jewel here, for example, the river scene sounds like the perfect MOC. Yeah. Yeah. It actually works out well. I'm going to take this whole thing off. It just would be a lot easier for me to work with. So we got this green going down. You see that green, and then let's take a couple of these little spiky things. And like I said, this is just decoration. The color and pattern of this species is variable. The main color is typically medium brown. They could also be gray, olive brown, or black. Yeah, I have a green alligator, but it will not pop. If I put the green alligator down, it won't look as good, I think. I think that albino one is better. Okay, so let's see. We have another jewel. Put another jewel here. Oops. And yeah, I probably could use more of these, or maybe I take them all off. Maybe I don't need these. I kind of think they're cool, but maybe they're too distracting if I don't have enough. See, so I have these. And this. The nice thing about doing this way is the 3-dimensional structure gives you some flexibility. The throat is white, sometimes blue. Oh. Okay. Well, it's a MOC, right? Kind of like what Doc Sampson was saying earlier. It's a MOC. So, I'm just looking at this a little bit. I could probably add some more lavender up here. I also have these spiky long things, but I think that would take away from it. But I'm looking, I do need to add a couple. Alright, so let's see. Take this one off. And this goes back to, if I had more time, because this is due tomorrow. Remember, for Brick Huntress, it's due tomorrow. So I gotta be prudent in my use of these. So I have kind of one here, maybe if I put one on the outer edges. Since, like I said, I don't have a lot of these. Alright, so we're gonna do that. And it goes back to, where's the eye going to be drawn? Yeah, this is, like I said, squirrely because I'm working on a 3-dimensional kind of look. And I don't know if this is the right placement, but I'm just kind of trying to even out some of those teeth pieces because I don't have a lot. What happens is that when you don't have something, you just gotta make do. Alright, that's not too bad. And then we have this one. Yeah. And teeth. These are like those little details that just add enough dimension and make it really cool looking. And I need to add one of those jewels, don't I? Let me see if I have another one, because I think I used them all. Yeah, let me see if I can find one more. The right placement is what looks best to you. Max Braun! I'm surprised I'm still around. Why? Was somebody supposed to take me out? Did you have a hit on me or something? How are you, Max? Good to see you. It's like she's still streaming. I thought you were gonna take her out. Anyway, we're adding some embellishments, and the last thing I need to do is add one of those jewels, one of these green jewels, and I think I have one more, if not in this MOC. Ooh, wait a minute, there's another. I have another one of these little sprout things. So let me see, I'll go ahead and add it to this one since I have this handy. So yeah, so I'm just looking at this tree, and then I have to add the jewel. Okay, let me see if I have one. Looking in this model. So essentially I'm scarfing pieces from an elf set and looking for the jewel pieces right now. Okay, I don't have any more there, but I do have my bucket of translucent pieces, and I know I have something of jewels in here somewhere. Brickanista goes dark with the Hitman scenario. Yeah. Well, you gotta admit, this is like late night. It's 11:30 almost. So now I'm looking for jewel pieces. Let's see. Yeah. Aha. I have these slopes, so I'm close. I know I have like some jewel pieces in here. Aha. I just don't know if I have it in green. So here are my jewel pieces. So I spoiled the surprise about Naomi's murder. Like, yeah. I don't know if I'm worth the money. I don't have it in green, but I do have this one, which is close. I think maybe this is like a light blue. So let's try this. I have to adjust these because of the placement. Oops. Oh no. Yeah, we're working on my Let's Build Some Magic MOC for the Brick Huntress, her challenge. I told her I would participate. And so now I'm just trying to get the final details. Were you here, Max, when I opened the video box? Because the Banshee is the main character. Preemptively kicks Max off any planning committees. Yeah, you probably want to be careful if Max is there, planning your demise. Alright, let's see if this works here. Alright, let's see. Alright, so now we've got, I don't know. And now I'm starting to think those spikes maybe don't work. They're kind of weird when they're spread out like this. They seem cooler when they were all together. That MOC is looking really good. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I think, you know, if you look at it from different angles, you can see kind of the trees. I was talking about if I were to do this again, I would probably use purple for the backdrop, because then the black trees would really pop. But since I've already gone down this road, and I do like the moon. I like how we ended up doing the moon with the clouds and the craters. But I'm just thinking it might be too busy with all those green, I don't know. I'll think about that off stream, but I think this might be a good stopping point. So what you missed, Max, is that we have the Banshee now over here. Let me do a zoom. You love the moon? Thank you. Yeah, we just did that tonight. All right, so here's our main character, the Banshee / Hecate, and she's got now two flames that she carries with her, 2 torches. Her little companion came from the elf set, so, and he's on a jumper, so I can turn him around. And it's a Celtic Banshee, so the Banshee usually wails before a death, and so there's a Celtic cross. The moon is fantastic. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we, you know, I always do searches on the web for different kinds of inspiration. Okay, so I think what I'll probably do off stream is clean up some of these open studs, because what I've been doing is, if you look at the other one, let's move the camera a little bit. If you look at the other one, I've tried to fill in some of the gaps a little bit with these cheese wedges. So I may need to fill some of that in, especially like down here. There's 4 studs in a row. That looks kind of awkward. Or I may just leave it, because like I said, it's a challenge. It's not something you get any prizes for. You're just participating, right? You remember the search you did? That was Wednesday. Yeah, that was on Hecate. That was on just coming up with the concept, but we just did a search on moons and how to stylize a moon kind of in a cartoon way, and that's how we came up with this. And then what I did for the moon, which is nice when you use this plate method. I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Okay, so you see what we did for this one is that this cloud has 3 1x1 or 1x2 jumpers, and then a plate, a black plate covering it. So from a distance, it looks like a, you know, kind of a half cloud. If you don't like the green pieces sticking up sparsely, you could try hanging them downward underneath the trees. Ooh, that could work. Here, let's try that with this middle one. Why not? Since we're here, let me zoom out again. Yeah, so this is what I've been working on for the last couple of days, and so Robin is suggesting I move these to underneath. See how that looks. Clever technique with the half cloud. Yeah, I just came up with that today. Yeah, because I had originally the cloud underneath the moon when I first started, and then as we looked at the photos that were on the internet, a lot of the clouds look like they're wispier and half clouds. Yeah, so let's see how this looks. Yeah, that could work. That could work, Robin. Thank you. Things usually hang from trees, not pointing up. Yeah, exactly. And they do look kind of sparse, so maybe if they're facing down, it won't be as obvious, right? So, yeah, I like that better already. Good call. This is why I stream, because it's good to get other people's perspectives, on how, you know, things are put together. All right, so we're gonna put this on the hanging down side. Okay. And what I like about these leaves is that it really gives kind of an organic look to trees, because there's just so many color variations you can use. And, just looking at, trying to realize, because this is the side that's going to be facing the plate, so you need to move this so then that way it's more, so you can see that it's more flush on this side because it's going to be facing the plate. I'm on vacation right now. You just started 2 hours ago. You're on vacation and you tuned in to me? That's so sweet. Thank you, Max. All right, so I do like that. This needs to move out a little because it's too close to the cliff. But, oh, all right, let's do it this way. I'm gonna be stubborn about it. Oops. All right. This is why it does take a little time. Oh, all right, fine. You're gonna be stubborn about it. Let's do it this way. All right, let's do this again. And so far, I found the easiest technique for me working on these trees is you build the tree, and then you put the base on the tree this way. And then you line up the 1x2s so that they go into the plate that way. Because we did some special shading and such. There we go. All right, so let's zoom in and see how that looks. Yeah, that doesn't make it look so cluttered. I kind of like that. So we can do that with this one too, as well. So once again, see, I'm taking the base off like that, and then it gives me the freedom to work on this. Got any vacation plans, Max? That was non-Lego related. No, it's okay. It's okay to share your joy about being on vacation. How long do you have your vacation for? I mean, hopefully you'll have an extended vacation. I think the only problem right now with being on vacation is, like, with COVID, like, where do you want to go? Or do you want to just stay home and have a staycation? You've been pulling 6-day work weeks since Mother's Day. Yeah, we are so short-staffed. It's been 55-hour work weeks. Yeah, maybe you just want to chill, you know, just stay home and chill. So here, I've moved them so that they're hanging down, and you can see that here's the tree trunk. And then, because we did the shading here, you just have to position this. Oops. Just have to position it so it doesn't drop. And then you put it on the plate like that. There we go. Yeah, good call, Robin. That definitely looks a lot better. It gives it enough dimension without it being, you know, an eyesore. I have another one here too. Which one did this one fall off? 1, 2. Okay, right, this one must have been over here. All right, I'll wait on this. Okay, so here's the last one. I'll do over here on this side. Yeah, so anyway, this technique has been really helpful because you can do some shading on the base plate here, and then you can work on your 3-dimensional pieces separately, and then just push them down on the plate. 9 days off, 2 days of nothing, kayaking Tuesday, going up north Wednesday, Friday off to Wisconsin. Okay, Wisconsin Dells, Saturday and Sunday night. Back to work the following Tuesday. Yeah, if you leave, then they can't call you back, right? If you're out of state, it's not like they can say, well, so-and-so called in sick, so you gotta come in. In fact, I don't know if you've heard about this, but a friend of mine was telling me her sister is a nurse in New York City, and she tried to quit, and they wouldn't let her quit. They pretty much did not accept her resignation, and they said, take as much time as you need, you know, but we need you back. And I have another friend who's here in Seattle, who's also a nurse, and I think she faced the same thing, so she actually moved. She was moving to Arizona. That never stopped them from calling before. What, that you being out of state? Seriously? Wisconsin Dells is a tourist trap town in Wisconsin. Oh, okay. I have a friend who lives in Wisconsin. I'll have to ask her about that. I've only been to Wisconsin once. And that was, where was I? I went to the Kimberly-Clark factory. Not to the factory itself, but the plant, because I had to give a speech. And what was that? I'm trying to remember what city that was. It was such a small city. Appleton? Does that sound right? Appleton? Appleton, Wisconsin? It's like the airport was so small. How small was it, Brickanista? It was so small that each of the airlines, I was flying Delta at the time, and each airline had its own gate. Just one gate. There were like 4 gates. And they said, you go through security and they say, which airline are you on? I said, oh, I'm on, you know, Delta. And they go, okay, you're gate number 3. You know, it was like, if they know which airline you're flying on, then they know which gate to send you to. I just thought it was funny. If I'm in reach of a cell tower, they will call with questions or just to gripe. Well, you need to turn your cell phone off if you're on vacation. Seriously, dude. You need to just unplug. Oops. Alright, this needs to move forward. If it's too close, remember what I said about this has to be flush. So you have to move these kind of in. Appleton is east of the Dells, near Oshkosh, Bagosh. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I've been to Wisconsin only once. And I just thought that was interesting. I love small airports, so it was an adorable little airport. And it was cute to be able to fly in and fly out and not have to deal with, you know, bigger airports. I haven't been on a plane in a long time, but I'm in no rush to get on a plane. I will drive places. In fact, I may be planning a trip to Idaho, but I'm still not vaccinated yet, so I'm gonna wait. Glen, it is a tourist trap, but still it's a fun spot to get away and only about 200 miles from here. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. I like that. Thank you, Robin. That's so much better. Having the spikes going down, and it gives enough visual interest there. The moon looks awesome. I think this one star is too close, so we're gonna have to move that. Move that maybe up here, because it was hiding behind the tree. Yeah, that's looking really good. And I like the alligator, even if it's not, I mean, this is a MOC, right? It's like, who cares if there's no alligators in Ireland? Okay, so I think this is close to being done. The last thing I need to do, like I said, is I need to fill in these gaps of the 1x2s and the 1x1s that are part of the river. And I can do that off stream because it's already 11:40. And what a great looking MOC. Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited about this. And then when we come back on, let's see, Sunday or Monday, see, tomorrow? Yeah, we could maybe do this tomorrow, because I'll be filing this photo tonight or tomorrow morning. If you want to watch the show, it'll be on Instagram. It'll be an Instagram live at 1 o'clock Pacific, which is normally when I do my Brickanista on the Move, but I had to move that because RJ Coughlin is available at 5. So we'll be streaming at 5 tomorrow, and then I'll come back and then go on to Twitch at 9. Thank you so much. I'm excited about this. I learned a new technique as far as kind of putting a back plate using the Technic beams. I think in the future I would put 3 1x2s instead of 2 1x2s. The alligator is just an overgrown viviparous lizard. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a viviparous lizard. I do think having the alligator in the water, though, does, especially with the color palette, that you have this and this. And the only thing that kind of bothers me is that she's so recessed back that she really isn't the center of attention. So, you know, I'm going to have to think about that maybe for the Tricky Bricks one. Not so much for this one. I think I can still take this photo, take the close-up of her with her companion next to the gravestone, and then don't decorate it with a bunch of zombies and other things. But don't be surprised if tomorrow I build an extension of this, because I went to the Lego store and I got a bunch of 4x4 black plates. So I could maybe do an extension of this and have another module and then have the zombies and other things all tied in with the Banshee. I don't know. I'm thinking it through in my head, but it's possible, because we have, after tomorrow, we'll have 4 days to build that MOC for Tricky Bricks. So this might be the beginning for Let's Build Magic, and then we'll continue on. But yeah, this is probably a good stopping point, because like I said, some of this stuff I have to look for my pieces for the river, probably decorate it with maybe some spiky grass along the edges, you know, do some of that. Probably fill in some more of this right here, because there's this big hole right here. I might have to put a plate down and a couple of slopes, but it's close to done. A familiar, Hecate's familiar. Yeah, well, this is actually, for Brick Huntress, we're going to call this the Banshee. The Banshee at night. And that's probably what I'm going to do for Let's Build Magic. But then for Tricky Bricks, I'm going to go down the mythology route and talk about Hecate. Because you can actually think about Hecate and Banshee almost being parallel kinds of myths for 2 different cultures, because both of them have the 3 different versions of a woman, and they both have kind of the a cross between the living and the dead. I think there's a lot of parallels there. Just like with dragon lore, you see a lot of different cultures doing a lot of different dragons, and it makes you wonder. It's like the Chinese have this whole mythology around dragons, the Romanians, the Vikings, you know, the Scandinavians, and yeah. So for this is going to be the Banshee. We're just talking about the Banshee, and Banshee wails at night or something like that, because she's magical and she knows, you know, and she warns people. I don't know. That's still kind of dark, but I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But I do like the addition of the familiar, and I'm going to have to look that up, what the name of that character is. But I do like this technique too, and the clouds. I think this just came together really nicely. And the moon craters, yeah, it adds a lot of dimension. It's very, has a lot of texture, which I love. Okay, my friends. The other thing I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to stop before midnight, because it seems like my internet service provider likes to, seems like my internet service provider likes to shut my internet service off right around midnight, which I'm not sure why. I'm going to center this camera a little bit. All right, my friends. So yeah, this was fun. And you got to see me build this MOC for Let's Build Some Magic, which is going to go on the Brick Huntress's stream tomorrow. If you want to see the entire slideshow, go to Brick Huntress on Instagram. She'll be doing that live. And I'll be on there kind of watching, and then I'll be back live here on YouTube interviewing RJ Coughlin about BrickCon. So BrickCon made their announcement. They're going to have a hybrid type of event in October, first weekend of October. And one of the key things is that if you want to be a builder, they will be opening up registration on August 1st. So you've got to register August 1st, and they're going to cap it because of COVID. I don't know the numbers exactly, but we'll talk to RJ about it tomorrow. And you have to be vaccinated if you want to be a builder in this event. And that may put me out because I may not be able to be vaccinated in time. I'm still hoping and praying that Novavax will be available and I'll be fully vaccinated by the time that convention rolls around, but we'll see. It's like I'm starting to lose hope, but I'm still keeping hopeful about it. But yeah, so I'm going to start, I'm still going to stream around the same time, at least for now. I might have to move it a little earlier because, like I said, my internet service provider, almost like clockwork, starts to drop my connection right at midnight. And I noticed it happened on Amish Ace's stream the other day too. So I don't know. I think it's one of those tough calls when you stream late at night because you need a robust connection if you're going to continue to stream. So okay. So anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you had a good time. Congratulations, Max. Enjoy your vacation. Don't feel like you have to drop in over the next 10 days because you should be enjoying your vacation time. Unless you find this enjoyable, then of course you're welcome to stop by. So as they say on the Brickanista Broadcast Network, may the clutch be with you. If you like the stream, like, subscribe, hang out with us. And we'll see you again tomorrow at 5 o'clock. So once again, I'm changing the time because of RJ Coughlin's schedule. I'll be back on YouTube at 5 p.m. tomorrow with a Brickanista on the Move episode. So thank you, all my supporters and subscribers. Really appreciate it. Thumbs up. Thank you, Doc. Appreciate that. Fun stream. Okay, thanks, Robin. Thank you for hanging out. And oh, one more thing. I did have a chat with Ferg. So I'm hoping we'll be able to come up with dates for the next mock improv, and we'll figure out what he's going to do as far as sponsorship. So we'll keep you posted, but he knows that he's on the hook for that. So he's going to do it. He's the one who offered. So I'm just going to hold him to that and say, whatever you have in mind, we'll be happy to have his sponsorship for a mock improv in the future. So anyway, so take care, everybody, and we'll see you soon. May the clutch be with you. Take care. Bye.